Welcome to another episode of Pathetic, the podcast. You know, it's amazing to me. Our teams this year in football just keep giving us things to talk about. Some good, some bad. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you in. Thank you so much. However you found us, you found us. If you're a regular, thank you. We really do appreciate you hanging in there. We are we get a lot of emails and texts and messages about what's going on. We love it. Keep it coming, whether you agree or don't agree with us. I like it when you don't agree with us. It means that we're doing our job. We're stimulating your minds out there. But this was a great weekend, spoiled for me by football. Mikey, it was a great weekend.
It was fantastic. We had a blast at this wedding. Shout out to the newly married Smallwoods. Lots of success for them. I'm also in a great mood today. I was just at the 250th Navy anniversary parade in Philly today. My daughter was actually leading the parade in her marching band, so shout out the Liberty High School Grenadier Band. I got the Grenadier Dad shirt on right now, so shout out to them. They looked awesome out there, and it was a great day. It was a little chilly and a little windy, but you know the rain held off until after the parade ended. So shout out to them. Jeff, how we doing?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you guys holding down the fort last week, but Uncle Teddy, you know this as well as anybody. When the Giants are on, I have to get into Giant mode, which is
Giants mode.
I'm in like a zen before the game, and we went out to watch it. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the Jets, and New York football always keeps it interesting for good, bad, or ugly. That's for sure.
Couple of things, guys out there, go on YouTube and search for the Liberty High School Grenadier Marching Band for YouTube videos, because I've seen them. Mike's talked about it. It's a great band. You would never believe this is a high school band. You would think it was one of those big college or university bands. So definitely you want to check that out. Jeff, yeah, you were not with us Thursday night. Mike and I took care of it. I fully understood, knowing you all every single minute since you've been born. I know the way you operate with your sports teams, and that was not going to get in the way. But I want to go to you first, because I want to have at least a little bit of positivity to start the show. And how did it go Thursday night for you guys? So did you have a dinner first? Did you go to dinner first?
Oh, yeah, we went to dinner, and then we went to the same bar that we went to watch the Jet game when you were down here.
What's the name of that place again?
Duckworth's.
That's right.
Duckworth's.
Great place. Yep. If you're in Charlotte, South Park, Duckworth's is a really great sports bar.
Yeah, it's big. There's a lot of space, we had a front row to our TV. It was
nice.
It was perfect. But look, as a Giants fan, it's impossible to not feel amazing about this team right now. Cautiously feeling good, but still feeling great, which it's really an unbelievable, 180 from how we felt as Giant fans before Dart took over, all within a span of 3 weeks. And, look, make no mistake about it, guys. The current resurgence of the Giants is 100% about Jackson Dart. Yes, Scatterbo has been great. Brian Burns on pace to, he's possibly going to be Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps this up. But, the reason why this team, rebranded itself, particularly over the past few weeks, is because of the rookie quarterback. Now, what I'm not going to do is sit here and say, Jackson Dart's going to win 6 MVPs. He's going to win 5 titles. We have no idea what the future holds, but when we're watching rookie quarterbacks, and I know you guys can relate to this, especially the quarterback position, what you look for is the signs, right? You look for traits, you look for things that he does, and then you judge from there. And if I'm looking at the signs with Dart, he looks like he could be the Giants quarterback for the next, 15 years and play at a high level. And, I know you liked him a lot, Uncle Ted. I liked him. I wanted him in the draft, but I'm a little surprised at his talent level, right? He's very good at all aspects of the game. He's got a great arm. He's very accurate. He's more athletic than I thought he was, even more than I thought in college. Just the way he's not like fast, probably vertically, but he moves well. He jukes people out.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, it's the comparison. I'm not going to say he's him yet, but I definitely see some similarities. He does a lot of things really well. The football IQ is very high. He knows where to be at the exact right times, when to run, when to throw. But in regards to the game Thursday night, you know exactly what I'm talking about with the football IQ. I mean, the kid knows exactly what he's doing and what he wants to do. You can make the case that's the most impressive part of what he's done, you know. But the biggest thing that we're seeing with the Giants right now, and Uncle Ted, I know you're not high in this guy. I was starting to wean off it a little bit, but I see a resurgence of Brian Dable. Look at the difference in the coaching with Jackson Dart, right? If you turn the clock back, right? Let's go back to the year the Giants had success with Dable when he was coach of the year, won the playoff game. The success stemmed from Dable unleashing the playbook, right? He wasn't afraid to be aggressive because he had nothing to lose at that time, right? Somewhere along the way, you know, through the midst of Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito and Russell Wilson to a degree, he lost that edge. He lost his balls, to be honest with you. And I feel like now, with Jackson Dart being his guy, the guy that he had to sell Shane into getting. I mean, Shane didn't want him. He wanted Sanders.
Yeah.
Dable said, no. This is my guy. You're now seeing Dable unleash the playbook again. Like I don't know if you guys watched the game in depth. He's coaching differently for the last 3 weeks, especially against Philly. So again, I'm not sitting here saying Dable's definitely going to be back. I don't know. Depends how the year plays out. But I'm seeing a resurgence from him and the rest of the coaching staff, and that's what good quarterbacks do. They raise their own game, but they raise the game of everybody around them, including the coaches. So, you know, look, as a Giant fan, I can't sit here and say that the future's figured out. We're good. We're going to be good for 10 years. I don't know. But all I could say is just based on what we're seeing with Dart, with Scatterbo, with the team, the talent now, you know, elevating finally, I feel very, very good about the future.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, look, they are a rejuvenated franchise. They have been someone who looked like the Jets did when Russell Wilson was out there. They just looked lifeless. They looked like uninspired. They looked like they were just going through the motions. But all of a sudden, you give a guy the opportunity. You saw what he did in the preseason. You saw what he's done so far this year, and I'm sure they've probably seen it at practice that this is the guy who's going to be the quarterback there for a long time. And you see just the whole demeanor of the team change. So I love that for Giants fans. I wish that we would ever get that person into our building with the Jets, which we'll get to shortly. But you could just see that their whole team is rejuvenated. And I love Cam Scatterbo. He is probably my favorite player in the league right now. Just he plays with he's so much fun to watch. Like he just lowers his head and goes in there. It's old school football, but he's quick. He's a short little guy. You know, he gives hope to us short guys that maybe we could get into the NFL at some point, and just give us one shot to run some of these plays. But yeah, I mean, you gotta be thrilled with what you're seeing. They're 2-1 under Dart. I think you could throw out those first two games with Russell Wilson as they have a legitimate chance to be 4-2 right now. You should have won the Dallas game. You should have find a way to win that New Orleans game, and you could be sitting here at 4-2 after 6 weeks, and you're talking about a very different season. Now, I still think the schedule is pretty tough coming forward, but you saw Denver doesn't look very good against the Jets. You saw that they were, sleeping their way through that game. So there's some opportunity there. And that Eagles game in 2 weeks should be very interesting at this point. So it's a nice piece of positivity. It's a nice piece of positive energy that you're feeling around the city that we haven't had in quite a few weeks, other than the Yankees beating the Red Sox. I mean, other than that, we haven't had a lot of positivity in the city in a long time. So, I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, I'm as far as Jackson Dart goes, you're right, Jeff. I was very high on him. And I would have loved to have seen the Jets pick him up. The thing about Jackson Dart is Charlie Weiss said it. Charlie Weiss said he's the quarterback that nobody's talking about. He said they have him ranked third, fourth, some of them even lower. They said that he couldn't go through his progressions fast enough. Well, I'm not seeing that. So I think that's a big thing. And if that's something that Dable helped him with, good for Dable. You're right. I do think Dable is coaching a lot different now because he does have a lot more confidence in, like you say, opening up the playbook and letting this kid handle it. This kid looks like he's been in the league 5 years. So what he's doing to me is incredible. You're right. You don't want to get so worked up that if they go out and they lose in Denver, which, listen, I think that could happen. Mike, you're right. Denver looked crappy last week, but Denver's defense is still solid as hell.
And they're in Denver.
That's not an easy place to play. If you come out of there with a close loss in Denver, no one should be any less excited about what's going on. I will say this about what the Giants, I think if they need to get a really legit running back. And I'll tell you why. I think Scatterbo would be great as the complimentary back. Only because,
really?
Yeah, and I don't think he could be the number one back for this reason. I think he's too reckless. And I think that he's the kind of guy that when you bring him in, even if you bring him in, on second or third down, I think he'll change things up. But I think if he plays a lot, if he touches the ball, not touches the ball, but on a handoff, if you hand it off to him 20 times a game, he's going to wind up in concussion protocol. He's going to kill himself doing his backflips in the end zone, which I love, but he's still going to hurt. He's the kind of guy that he's going to get banged up because he doesn't have any regard for his body. His job is to get into the end zone. I love that about him. And I love the guy. But I think if you think about it, if you had a really dynamic running back with him, I think that would be awesome. And you also need a wide receiver, but you know what? You'll get that. But they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch. I can't wait to see them play Denver. And I am not a Giants fan in any way, shape, or form. And I'll be rooting for them against Denver. I'll be rooting for them every single week this year. Because I am a Jackson Dart fan, and I want to see him do well, and I want you to be back in love with a young quarterback. I want to see that. I want to see that love between you and a young quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you, I was wrong about benching him for Wilson in the beginning of the year. I was dead wrong. I got to call myself out on that. I wanted him to sit for a year and learn.
Hand up,
he was
Jeff.
ready.
Accountability.
But I'll tell you this.
Jeff.
Well, speaking of accountability, who should be accountable? The guy I just complimented, Brian Dable. How the hell do you not see this in practice and say, wait a second, this kid is this good? He's starting over Wilson. There's no shot I'm putting Wilson in. I think and this is my
his call.
Well, it's either what we talked about a couple weeks ago, where Mara, whatever, or it could be this. This is my little conspiracy, if you want to call it that. I think Dable just wanted two cards to play, right? Let's say Dart came in and he was bad. Dable's probably gone halfway through the year. If Russell Wilson comes in and he's bad, all of a sudden Dable has a life preserver to throw into the water for himself.
That's true.
Right, so I think that's really what happened here. But, I mean, damn it. I mean, if he was in the whole year, I'm not saying they'd win every game, but they'd have a winning record right now. They beat the Chiefs that night, Uncle Ted. They would have beat the Chiefs that night.
Yes, I agree with that.
So that actually pisses me off a little bit. And the second thing I want to say about Dable real quick, which makes me nervous, because somebody asked me, what do you want to see from the Giants moving forward in terms of consistency? And I said I want to see Dable consistent. Dart's going to have a bad game. It might be next week. He's going to have some bad series. It's going to happen. And I don't want him to start getting nervous and being like, okay, now we got to reel him in a little bit and back up the playbook. The biggest issue with Dable he's great when things are going well. All right. He sucks when things are not going well. He
Yeah.
panics. You can see it in his face on the side. He's yelling at people. He's yelling at the medical guy in the tent.
Right. Did you see
Yeah.
that was strict panic?
You know,
Strict
everyone's
panic.
like, oh, I can't believe he did that. I can. 100%. He's terrible in crisis. He melts down.
Yeah.
He has a complete meltdown every time something bad happens. So my fear with Dable is Dart's going to have a couple bad games, you know, just the rookie, you know, growing pains. All of a sudden, we're going to start seeing the dink and dunk, right? The, you know, 3rd and 9 running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I want to see from the Giants is Dable being consistent no matter what happens and continuing to let this kid just play and have fun.
Well, we'll see. I think you might get that. We'll see. I don't know. It's Mikey and I are in a different boat.
Oh man!
As Mikey mentioned, we saw Jetman, Ted Smallwood, get married to Megan. Great wedding. We had such a great time. We had so many friends there that the people I haven't seen in a long time, and it was so great to see them. And then Mike and I don't know if we were excited, but it sounded like it because the two of us are idiots. We're stone cold idiots. Because as much as we don't want to watch the Jets or pay attention to them, we can't help it. We can't help it. So we both requested late checkouts from the hotel. They were not showing the game in the bar. The bar wasn't even open yet. So we watched the game from our hotel room together. And we're idiots. We're just idiots. Mike, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Look. I don't want to go total nuclear here, but that game set off more alarm bells for me about Aaron Glenn than anything else. Number one, the end of the first half was a complete and total disaster. You run the fake punt to get there. You get excited. All right, we're gonna go in and score, and then you don't let a play off for 40 seconds at the end of the half, to the point where the Garrett Wilson is sitting there screaming, wondering what the heck's going on, and then he gets the explanation. And then he realizes that it's even worse because it was intentional that they did it. It wasn't incompetence. It was intentional that they didn't do anything there. So that's number one. Number two, at the end of the game, a 4th and 8 when a team has negative 10 passing yards, you're going to go for a 4th and 8 over a 62-yard field goal with Nick Folk, who I think could have easily hit that. So
for sure.
I mean, he's setting off all kinds of signs that he is not ready for this. He is in way over his head as of right now. And then the questions after the game when you're asking about what, you know, is Fields the quarterback who should be there, and he says it's a ridiculous question. It's a ridiculous question. They had negative 10, like I said, negative 10 passing yards. How can you say that is what you want to do? I understand Denver's defense is good, but negative 10 passing yards and 9 sacks, you're holding the ball for 12 seconds. No one's going to be able to – I don't care who you put out there for the offensive line. You're never going to be – you're going to get sacked 9 times if you're holding onto the ball and you're jittery and you're looking around and there's guys that are wide open on every single play. You and me sat there, Ted. Every single play we're looking, this guy's open. That guy's open. He threw it to Garrett Wilson, but he was way behind. He was 3 steps behind him, so he almost got him killed twice. He's not a thrower. I'm finally waking up to that fact. I would have loved if you have Tyrod Taylor in at the end of that game, you probably get down the field a little bit closer and you give Nick Folk a chance to win that game going forward. Not to say that Denver's not going to go down the field and hit a field goal to end it anyway, but at least then I would feel a little better that, hey, we put up a fight. We got across. We took the lead with under a minute to go. We had a chance. But oh my! I was so disgusted leaving that hotel on Sunday morning. I just couldn't even fathom thinking about this team being anything other than a disaster. And you're 0-6. Why are we being so conservative for? You have nothing to lose at this point. Why can't we go out and throw the ball down the field and do a couple of plays that at least give you a chance to win. Who cares if he throws an interception? It doesn't matter. You're 0-6.
Well,
You
here,
got to get a
first of
win
all,
at some point, Aaron. You can't be sitting here at 0-8 or 0-9 and
he
think
will
you're going
be.
to have a job next year. It's not going to happen.
My hand is up, okay, for accountability, because I was and I'm going to say this, I'm sorry, the fucking moron who was firmly in Justin Fields' camp. Firmly.
Same. I was in this camp too. I thought he had a
No, no.
chance to be a good quarterback.
But I'll address this, Mike, when you talk about throwing the ball downfield. I would guarantee you, I don't want to hear a word about Tanner Angstrom and his plan, his offensive plan, because he's calling the plays and guys are getting open and they're not throwing the ball. And Justin Field he's not throwing the ball. He's holding on to it. I don't know why this is now all of a sudden an issue, except that I really think he cannot go through those progressions. That was one of the things they said was a problem with him, and it's rearing its ugly head right now. Okay. The Aaron Glenn thing, I don't want him fired. I don't want to play coaching roulette again.
Yeah.
But what concerns me more than what I see on the field, which is horrific of his decisions, is what he says, like you said, Mike, in the press conferences. When he tells you that he didn't want to get, he wanted to be in the position where maybe he can score and then he doubles up because they get the second half ball back. And then he says in the next breath, I didn't want to give them back the ball. That's why I ran out the clock. Well, what is it? What is it? And I don't want to hear anymore that you were part of a team that was 0 whatever in Detroit, because Dan Campbell might have been 0 whatever he was, but he wasn't looking like a goddamn idiot on the sidelines. The team was just completely inept, and he had to fix it.
He had
I'll
no
give you
talent
this.
on that team. There was no talent on that Detroit
Nothing.
team. That's why he was 0-6. They played their ass off for him, but
Right.
they had no talent. This team has all the talent in the world, allegedly, and we can't seem to do anything.
I'll give you this. Steve Wilkes brought it this week for that for the defensive coordinator, and that defense played well. They really did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
They played
They did.
well. And if
They
that
played hard.
defense plays like that the rest of the year, and Tyrod Taylor is our quarterback, I could see us winning 4 or 5 games. No question.
Yeah.
But not with Justin Field. And the thing is, now Connor Hughes, the Jet beat writer for SNY, comes out and says that there are a handful of players that have spoken to SNY and said they from the beginning have felt that Justin Fields has not earned this job and Tyrod Taylor has.
Yeah, I
And they
saw
say-
that today too.
And the offensive line is ticked off because of those 9 sacks, Mike, I would guess 7 of them were because he held the ball too long.
And
7 of them.
that's indicative, and that indicts the offensive line. If you're on an offensive line that gave up 9 sacks in a game, that's a demerit against you. Even if those sacks are not your fault, it looks bad that you gave up 9 sacks as an offensive line. So I understand why they're pissed off.
It's just it's baffling to me. First of all, anybody ever mentions Mike Tannenbaum's name again to me, who headed the search for this regime, I just don't want to hear his name anymore.
I'm
think
done.
that-
Get him away from the organization.
I've been done with him since he decided to bring in Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I hear that, anything he talks about a quarterback as of now, I don't even listen to it because I know that he wanted Tim Tebow there. So I'm completely out on him after that point.
What's sickening to me is that I'm watching Oregon and Indiana not to just enjoy college football, because I'm a huge college football fan, but I'm watching the quarterbacks. I'm watching Mendoza and I'm watching Moore, because I know that we're going to have to make that call. And here's my other problem. If they don't fire these guys, do we trust them to make the call? Here's what
Well,
I would
that's
do
what I was going to say.
right this second. Right this second. Fire him. Hire Cliff Kingsbury. Hire him.
Right
I
now?
don't care.
You want to
Right
fire him
now.
now?
Right this second. Tonight. I'll
Yeah.
call him and tell him.
Well, look, right
It's
now,
not
I'm
you,
gonna
it's me.
I'm
I'll
gonna
tell him.
I'm gonna use a phrase that the kids are using nowadays. Outside of Garrett Wilson, maybe some guys on the defense, just the Jets overall, they're ass.
I
The
love
Jets,
that.
really. I mean, the Jets. Well, what did Cam Ward say? I'm gonna keep it a buck. We ass. He said, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what the Jets are right now. They're just pure ass.
Pure ass.
And this is the first game I really watched them, and I watched them with you, Uncle Ted. But we're sitting there drinking, eating.
Yeah.
I'm not like focusing on the team really, to be honest, right? I actually sat here with some coffee, watching this team in the morning. I'm like, this is garbage. Like, this is really, really hard to watch. And right now, you guys have a problem in two of the most important positions on the football field, the coach and the quarterback, right? And I'll start with the quarterback. You guys kind of touched on it, but the harsh reality is Justin Fields just isn't any good. And that's just the reality. And look, I understood, by the way, the optimism from you guys, from Jets fans who wanted to sign him because, look, he's in his 20s. He's athletic. He's a good teammate. He's a good kid. And you saw two examples, by the way, in Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, who finally found the right fit and they became top 10 quarterbacks. So you were hoping to, I guess, maybe reciprocate that to a degree. The problem is Fields can't throw. Those guys can throw, right? Now, I've been saying this for weeks, but listen, don't take my word for it. Take the Jets coaching staff word for it. They're afraid to use the guy. Right. Sunday, it was unbelievable. And if I'm a Jet fan, I'll tell you this, guys, and I don't want to like hit a bad bone here, right? That annoys me even more, right? It was Aaron Glenn who decided to tell the guy that just threw 28 touchdowns for you in Aaron Rodgers, okay, for the team that he's taken over to kick rocks because he wanted to be the alpha male in the room. Aaron Glenn did, right? You're the one, Aaron Glenn, that decided to go with Justin Fields instead of Aaron Rodgers. So when you watch Aaron Glenn afraid to use Fields and completely mismanage his strengths, right? Like, where's the RPOs? Where are the running plays? He should be doing that 10 times a game. That move to dump Rodgers and get Justin Fields because you didn't want Rodgers taking over your locker room, you can use him right now. That's a massive indictment on the coach. And I'm not trolling. I'm looking at it as a Jet fan. Like, we can have Aaron Rodgers right now. And I don't care how old he is. He's still good.
You're right.
He's still good. And he would get you guys some wins this year. Maybe not the playoffs because it's the Jets and it's a terrible coach. But that's a huge indictment that no one's really talking about Aaron Glenn. Justin Fields was his idea. He was the one running the show. Right? Now, here, let me ask you guys a question. Do you want, like, so you, Uncle Ted, I'm not going to ask you actually because you already gave me your answer. Mike, would you rather fire Aaron Glenn right now or bring him back next year, give him another shot, knowing that he's the guy that's going to draft the quarterback? Like, would you rather just end this now and cut ties? You know, what would you want to do?
I mean, I don't know if firing him now does anything. I think you would need to at least give him the opportunity to finish out the season. But I think if this season is a 1-15 or a 2-14 team and it looks completely inept and the decisions he's making as a coach are completely out of it, then I think you need to make a change in the offseason. I don't think a mid-season change is going to do anything other than piss off the guys who you've paid all this money to that are, that are going to be completely checked out and are not going to be completely bought in on the coach necessarily right now in the middle of a season. Now, if you are going to get rid of Glenn, I think you have to make the first phone call to Mike McCarthy. I don't care. That's my first phone call, and that's my only phone call I'm making. And I'm going to give him a blank check and say, write your number on it, give me the number, and get this thing done. Because I think that's the kind of thing that you need at this point. Because you've had enough of these first-time coaches who think they're all smart and think they're slick and it's the new thing. No, you need a guy who knows what the hell he's doing on there, who is a professional football coach. And Mike McCarthy is that.
Well, I'll tell you this. In retrospect, we would have been better off with Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
We would have been better off with Rex.
That doesn't seem so crazy anymore, by the way.
That's not crazy anymore. You're right. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Glenn fired right now. I'm being emotional.
I know.
But at the end of the year, I agree with Mike. If this is what you're looking at, and he's still making the crazy moves, talking crazy in the press conferences, all of that crap, yes, I want him gone. I want him gone.
Yeah, and you can't have this mentality of, we got to give him time. I agree with the philosophy. You got to give some people time. That's if you see signs. Now, look,
Right.
I will say this. If Aaron Glenn shows some signs where the team is turning around, you pick up a few wins, he's starting to manage the game better because he's learning on the job. So I'll give him that. Then, okay, you bring him back. But if this continues, this absolute horse, if this keeps
Buffoonery.
buffoonery and just really, I don't know what it is. It's not football. I don't know what it is.
No, I
If
mean,
this
that game
if
on
this
Sunday
continues,
let
you
us
can't bring it back.
set football back 50 years. I feel bad for the English who had to watch that whole thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
by the way, not to, well, I guess kind of staying on topic. Rich Eisen can't be doing play-by-plays anymore. Speaking of English, he is brutal. I mean, I can't even. It's like what? But
I mean,
that's
he's a
another
diehard
topic.
Jets fan too, so I think part of that was he was letting his fandom take over some of those plays where he was
Yeah.
just
Maybe.
completely clueless
Maybe.
and befuddled at what was going on because of his diehard Jet fandom. So
Maybe.
Hey, you
But
want to hear something funny? A guy who I used to work with that was at the wedding. He says he's sitting at my table and he goes, "You want to hear something that shows you how clueless I am?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead." Now he's a Niners fan. He's been a Niners fan his whole life. He said last year he actually turned to somebody during a Jet game and said, and he goes, "I was serious." I said, "Wow, it's got to be hard being a Jets fan." I said to him, "No, you think?" I said, that just hit you? I could have told you that
Yeah.
47 years ago.
I've actually spoken to people that are just at this point are completely disconnected from the team. They're watching it, but they don't care anymore.
Right. That's where
Like
I'm
they're
at,
kind of.
Yeah.
Is that I was going to ask you? Is that where you
I
guys
don't
are?
care.
Like, of course you
I don't
want
care.
them to win. Obviously, the way Mike. Mike, I've never seen
Yeah.
you that pissed. I mean, you're obviously
I
fired
know.
up. I
Mike
get it.
doesn't get
No, he doesn't.
pissed. He
Like
doesn't.
you and I are very irrational. Mike is
No,
like
Mike
the
doesn't.
rational one. But like, are you guys at that point where it's like, whatever? Like you're watching it, you're like leaning back, just here we go. Like you're not really into it like you used to be.
You know what bothers me about it? They know when you're a sports fan and you root for a team, it's you might say, "I'm never rooting for them again. Oh, I'm going to root for somebody else." Mike and I
Yeah.
actually discussed picking an NFC team to root for. I think we chose the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh.
But but that would be going to the Giants would be kind of very
I know.
fraudulent
I wouldn't let you
our
do it,
part.
honestly. I wouldn't
Yeah.
let you do it. Not that I wouldn't want you. Actually, I wouldn't want you.
no, you wouldn't
guys,
want
to be
him.
honest
Trust
with
me, you don't.
I know. I've seen it.
But the thing is, they know they got you by the cojones.
They do, 100%.
And as much as
100%.
as much as people hate them and want to leave them, there's 75,000 people out there every Sunday, and they're buying the jerseys and they're buying the hats and the jackets and everything else. When in reality, everyone should just for at least 1 week completely abandon this team. Let them do a boycott like people did with Bud Light and stuff like that. But
here's the problem
horrible.
the Jets have. The problem the Jets have to that point, Uncle Teddy, is the Jets have been bad, miserable for so long. They're actually losing a generation of fans.
Yes, I heard that today. They are.
That's
They're
like
losing a generation of fans.
Think about that for a second. That's I heard that. I'm like, that I never thought that is true. Like they're losing. This is now over a decade. They have you guys, but what about the young kids? Like, are you going to want to be a Jets fan? Honestly, they're going to say no.
You want a great example of how I've become so apathetic? Friday was your favorite team's jersey day in school. And little Charlie, the 3-year-old, wore a Malik Neighbors jersey. And Heather goes, "I'm so sorry. It's the only jersey I had." I said, "I don't want him to root for the Jets. I don't want him to have the heartache. At least with the Giants, he might get a Super Bowl every 10, 15, 20 years, even if it's every 20 years.
Right.
But that's in the past, I would be like, "Are you absolutely kidding me?"
Yeah.
But no, not now.
Yeah.
Not now. They don't deserve us.
Nah, this is Woody Johnson's fault too. It
Yeah,
just is.
he's a
This is all
horrible
him,
owner.
man. It's just
He's an
a
idiot.
dog crap. It's a dog crap organization because of him. Everybody comes
Yeah.
here, they fail. It's
Right.
because of him.
Yeah. Well, what words are we going to paint on the wall for this coach? Let's see. We had all gas, no break. We got we're the New York Jets. We're built for this crap.
How about cut the brake lines, please?
Yeah. How about put us out of our misery?
Right.
Play like a Jet was my favorite one. That
Play
was
like a Jet. You want?
I
They
forget
are
that was
playing
that
like
Gase?
Jet.
Was that Adam Gase? I forget who it was.
That was no. That was.
Play like a Jet. That
I
was
think that-
Idzik, wasn't it? Was it John Idzik who said
No,
that?
I don't. No, that was Rex Ryan. Play like a Jet. But you know what? I'll tell you this. Rex Ryan's teams
They
were always
played
prepared, and
always.
when they laid an egg, he took ownership and he ripped them.
Yeah.
And they respected that. But somebody had a great point when Parcells took over. Parcells brought in some veteran leadership. Aaron Glenn didn't want veteran leadership because he wanted to be the leader.
Right. That's why he got rid of Rodgers.
That's why he got rid of Rodgers. And the last thing I'll say, the only good thing that happened this weekend was I discovered Body Armor Peach Mango Light. And that's what I was drinking in this. It's tremendous. And
Better
it's
than
only
what
30
I told you to do?
What would you tell me?
The orange
Huh?
mango.
Oh, the light though.
Oh, okay. Because the
Body
one we
Armor
had was the
light.
orange. Yeah. I never
Yeah.
had the light, but
Oh, the light's very good. And it's only
Body
35
Armor's
calories for
delicious.
the whole bottle.
There you go.
But that's Mike. That's how I turn lemons into lemonade.
I did the lemon lime liquid IVs in the morning, and that that helped me big time get back to normal.
I heard the funniest story ever, and I will not use names, but someone I know said that he had a relative who was like in his 80s and he had like a stroke and he's up like 4 states away, 6 hours away. And he called his uncle, the guy's brother, and said, we really need to go visit this guy now because my friend's father had passed away already. So he says, all right, I'll pick you up. So the guy picking up my friend is like 83 years old, 84 years old. They drive 6 hours to Vermont. He goes, no stops. The guy goes, we don't make any stops. We just keep going. And all the way there, they're getting texts that Uncle so-and-so is in very bad shape. Please hurry or you'll miss him. So they get there, they walk into the hospital, and he's sitting up in bed, and he's fine. And he's laughing, and he's joking, and he's eating, and the family's all around him. And he said, Uncle, whatever. He goes, you do it. I feel great. And his wife goes, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, he opened his eyes, and he's back to perfect. So the uncle, his brother, after 5 minutes, walks over, taps him on the shoulder, and says, well, since you're on the mend, we're going to get going. So my friend goes, we drove 6 hours. We've been here 7 minutes. And he goes,
my God.
yeah, but he's fine. Don't worry about it. He goes, we have to stay. He goes, we're not staying. Either get in the car or find the way home.
That is great.
Oh, my God. That's such a funny story.
Yeah.
Those are wedding stories.
Those were great. It was
stories.
a great weekend up until 9:30 on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. We would be better off if they just didn't show the Jets on TV.
Yeah.
We really would be.
But you wouldn't like that. You wouldn't want that.
No, I don't want to be following on my phone with the refreshing the page and looking for the little football field with the ball going down it, and
I know.
You still want it. That's just the way it is. Like, look, by the way, let's not pretend the Giants are this like great team. No. Like all of a sudden, like we've had a decade of crap. So right. I know what you guys are saying. I'm always front and center watching this damn team, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even when we had Joe Judge, right? who's basically who Glenn reminds me of, by the way. Like
I
Joe,
know.
it really does. Like
He does.
the confused and conservative play. But man, you're always in front of the TV watching, no matter what.
I
This is
know.
just what we do. No
Yeah.
matter how much you're doing well, no matter how much you're struggling. It's especially football because it's our Sunday ritual, and
Yeah.
we're stuck. There's nothing we can do. We're stuck no matter what.
When football season ends and the Super Bowl ends, you want to take a week or two off and then say, all right, let's get right back to it. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Here's a hot take. I was talking to my friend James about this. Hot take. The Saskatchewan Roughriders can beat the Jets. They're 12 and I think they're 12-3. I think Saskatchewan will beat them.
Well, certainly on a Canadian football field, because the Jets defense can't cover them on a regular field. Forget the defensive backs on a wider Canadian football field. Forget about it. That would be a disaster.
That would be. But I think that even if you told the Canadian Football League team, you got to play on the NFL field, you got to play NFL rules, we'll give you a week to bone up on how to do this. I'll bet you the coach can do that, because I know our coach couldn't do it, but I'll bet you that Canadian coach can do that.
I just think if the step under the NFL, a big step under, they're going to have interceptions all day. They're going to get sacked every other play because the offensive line can't hold up. They're not going to be able to hold up against the Jets guys, any guys in the NFL.
Probably not, but
that would be the difference.
We stink.
The question is, would Justin Fields be able to play well in that league? Would he be able to go? You would think probably yes, but I don't know. But I think the Jets would probably destroy that team because of the defense.
He'll be able to run more there because, again, it's a wider field and a better chance. And there's only 3 downs, so there's certainly a chance for him to be a little bit more.
Mike, when you said he can run more up there because it's a bigger field, all of a sudden, I don't know why, in my head I got a picture of somebody taking like a little leash off a dog collar and just saying, "Run, go do your thing."
Well, he'll be able to run on another team because Aaron Glenn won't be there. Apparently, he doesn't know Justin Fields can run. No RPOs, no nothing, which is that's the craziest thing to me about him. Like, how is he not running 10 times a game, designed runs?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I'm so lost. I don't even know how to explain the level of despair when it comes to the sports part of it. It's like somebody started talking to me about Pete Alonso, and they go, he wants 7 years. I said, I don't care. Let him go. I don't really care anymore. Let everybody go. Whoever people sign, they sign. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care. Yeah. I'm very close, though. I had this discussion with Peachy, and she laughed, but taking all my Jet jerseys, except for Curtis Martin's, and burning them. And legit burning them. So
it's gotten that bad.
It's gotten that bad in my mind. I don't even want to see them. I have a Jets pullover, which I love. It's great for playing golf and all. I won't wear that. That's disgusting. It's embarrassing. I didn't even wear a Jets hat. Look at it. New Jersey Devils, baby. That's my squad.
Yeah. I mean,
as me and Mikey said, it's hockey season.
I've been wearing Jet stuff the last couple of days and last couple of weeks, and walking around the supermarket in a Jet shirt, all of a sudden you just hear people go, "Oh, Jets."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
They come right up to you. They come right up to you.
Yeah. They get
it.
It's
like Ronnie Dangerfield. And I wake up in the morning and the heaviness is over my head and it actually talks to me and says, "Oh, it's going to be a bad one today." Yeah, that's how we feel. That's how we feel. Because, Geoff, even when you were at your lowest point with all the crap going on with the Giants, it's never as embarrassing as what goes on in Florham Park.
Yep, they never. No, it's true.
Embarrassing. Never as. It's bad. Questionable things get done, but it's never as embarrassing as what this piece of garbage organization puts us through. And we're idiots. We are idiots because we put up with it. But now, going into tonight, I'll recap. I am at 10-5 with our football picks. Mikey's 8-7. You are 7-8.
That was going into last week.
No, that was at the end. What are we, 0-6?
We're week 6, yep.
Yeah, so going into this week that just finished, but we're not finished because we've got Mikey's 0-2, but he's got Buffalo given 4.5.
Yeah.
Geoff is 1-0, and he's got Washington and Buffalo given
I got both
4.5
games
each tonight. And
Yep.
I'm 1-1, and I've got Buffalo given 4.5. So
And as predicted, Atlanta is up 21-7 against Buffalo right now, as we predicted when we said that all three of us were on Buffalo in that game. So,
yep, that's
chalk
true.
that one up to the consensus pick for the three of us.
You know what's
The
funny?
triple threat.
I'll tell you this. If you've been watching Buffalo this year, they don't look like a Super Bowl team.
Nah, they don't.
They really
No,
don't.
no one does.
I don't think
They
anybody
don't, yeah.
does.
There's not one in the AFC, I don't think.
Even the NFC. Look at Detroit. You know, they got smoked by Kansas City last night. This is going to be weird. I think when the playoffs started, I think it's going to be pretty wide open. I would love to see the Giants somehow sneak that Eastern, because if Washington loses tonight, Philly's lost. Dallas loses again.
Yep.
And
to the Panthers, by the way.
The Panthers are coming in and smoking the Jets, and I will laugh so hard when that happens on Sunday.
The Panthers are not as bad as their reputation. I'm telling you, they got a good coach. They got a decent defense. The quarterback is doing okay. They're not great, but they're dangerous. That's a dangerous team.
You know what's just going to be the extra salt in the wound for the Jet fans is when Aaron Rodgers is playing in the AFC Championship game, trying to get to the Super Bowl. You know,
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for Aaron the rest of the way. That should seal his fate, but I'm rooting for him the rest of the way.
Right.
Officially, I'm rooting for the Steelers the rest of the way. So, all right, listen, this was another cathartic episode where Mikey and I have to kind of just talk out our pain. And I think it's probably for the next episode, it's going to be even worse. So
are we making picks?
When do we stop, Mike? Yeah, all right, so do you want to try to meet like Thursday night for a quick 15-minute pick episode?
I think
yes. No?
Yeah.
Geoff, you got a date? You can't make it? What's going on?
No, this week would be, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have nothing this week, so we're good.
All right, we'll do our picks and we'll recap what happened this weekend with our picks. And then we'll discuss also very quickly, at what point do we stop talking about the Jets? Okay, so think about that, Mike. Cool, because that's going to be up to me and you. Because Geoff will just help us along the way, however we have to go. Guys, please, in the bottom corner, you see our 3 mugs, and it has our Link.Tree. You can check all our social media out there. As I mentioned earlier, send us an email. I love getting roasted by people, especially Mike's dad roasting us on our Yankee takes and our if you remember in the last episode as it was ending, I said to Mike, I think the Giants are going to get smoked tonight. And Mike goes, I kind of agree with you. And what'd your father say? That was that did not age well. That didn't age well. Yeah, that didn't age well. So, but listen, Geoff, I'll talk to you later in the week. Mike, I'll talk to you later in the week. Me and Mike are playing golf next weekend. So, we got to get those plans all set. But we'll be back. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Pathetic, the podcast.